Well, looks like 7 o'clock's here. Welcome, everybody. I'd like to call this meeting to order. If we could all just stand and recite the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, just a moment and sound for the room. May be seated. So I'd like to call this regular board meeting to order, and can we have an approval of the minutes from the prior meeting there as is without any changes?
I will make that.
One second. All in favor? Great. All right. Here, let's go to general aid fund 25 dash or 29 through 26 to 94 in the amount of $70,933.20.
I'll make that motion.
Well, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. East Sidney Lake 26-5 through 26-10 in the amount of $13,542.21.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Sidney Center Lighting 26-3 in the amount of $392.05.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Total general fund vouchers are $84,867.46. Highway DA fund 26-18 through 26-40 in the amount of $27,998.56.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Carried. DB fund 26-2 in the amount of $6,600. Let's see here, $79.20.
I'll make that motion.
I can second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Yeah.
So total highway fund vouchers are $34,677.76. CM Hospital Fund 26-30 through 26-49 in the amount of $48,045.28.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
The total vouchers paid are $162,590.50. Okay, correspondence.
I don't have anything.
Okay. Moving on to reports. Just start with your clerk, that part.
I submitted $1,253 fees for February 2026.
Okay. Great. Let's see, moving on to highway. Cody.
Alright, we've been experiencing some issues with our loader. So we're currently working through those repairs and troubleshooting it, keep it operational. The shop we've been rebuilding. Or attempting to rebuild one of the boxes on our dump trucks. To prolong the life until we can replace it. With the weather starting to turn, hopefully. We started sweeping our roads. Gearing up for spring operations, and lastly, I would like to request a motion from the board to approve putting the county mowing bids out, as well as the annual supplies bid, which includes fuel, gasoline, propane, and heating oil for all buildings within the town.
I'll make that motion.
I can second it. I'll second. The only thing is it possible to push off the fuel bid just with what's going on in the world right now? As long as possible, I guess.
It might get worse, dude.
No, I don't know, it depends on the day, so I just wonder if it makes more sense
Our
to,
contract ends May 1st
okay,
with Morado.
Okay.
So we have to have it in the paper for 2 weeks. Which gives us just enough time to open the bids. Make the decision by the next meeting.
okay.
So the only thing we can do is wait 2 weeks, post it. Then it'll run 2 weeks. And then, I don't know what you wanna do, but.
Okay,
that ends May 1st.
gotcha.
Timing's not the best.
No, especially for fuel oil, it's,
Can't do anything about it.
or for heating oil, I mean, it's, I suspect it'll settle eventually, but who, I don't know if anybody knows the answer to that question, but. All right, we'll list it and put, maybe,
Definitely horrible timing.
yeah, it is, but,
I have a question. Frank motioned it. Who seconded it?
I did.
Okay.
But as of right now, this is just putting the ads in the paper.
okay,
All bids shall be received by 10 a.m. Tuesday, April 7th. And then April 8th, we will open the bids. Frank and Eric, if the 8th works for you, maybe 10 o'clock in the morning. Like we usually do.
What's the date?
April 8th,
So Wednesday.
the board meeting is the 9th.
Wait.
Other than that, that's all I have.
what time you wanna do, Mike? I've got a finance meeting in
What works best for you? I forgot.
earlier, and we could do it, I mean, I could do it like, would 8 work?
Yeah, for me. Frank, how about you?
Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
want to talk to you?
All right. That's it, fully, anything else? So,
I'm all set, thank you.
okay, great. All right, moving on to, going to highway department, right? Yeah, why? Okay, not here, you didn't want to have anything, right?
Nothing, Cheryl? Okay. As far as the highway goes, I got a call from Cody last week, you know, and I was out and about and stop in and see what we're doing, and they actually had one of the big dump trucks. It was amazing, it's a huge dump truck and they had a part bigger than me, which is not real big. But they were welding this part into a corner of the box of this dump truck. You know, and they're doing it, they're saving us a ton of money by doing stuff like that, you know, it's not a stainless steel box. But to see the guys, you know, do that, it was, you know, I took a sense of pride in watching them do that, you know, because it's gonna haul all summer long. It's for maybe a couple of years, whatever we get out of it. But it just showed you that their expertise and what they do in that highway department over there. I said to Cody, who welds? He goes, they all weld. Yeah, and it was a big piece of metal, that's for sure. It probably was like a corner that wide and about 5 foot tall. And we put the whole corner out, put this corner in. And I mean, you guys know New York State roads, being what they are, there's a lot of rust going on over there too. But we have a new truck coming sometime. What's it paid for?
No,
No,
not that.
we did the dispensary
You want
going.
to move it up if you want.
That's all I have. Just wanted to relay that to you guys.
Okay, great, thank you, sir. All right, hospital, in real new, I guess, and no news at this stage there. We do have a possible tenant here in the future, but nothing definitive yet, so we're hoping that comes to fruition. And we will certainly let everybody know as soon as we hear something there. Insurance. Kevin.
I spoke to Bill Van Gorder. I spoke to Bill Van Gorder, and there is a training coming up it's open to all the board members also on April 8th. Starts at 10 a.m. and they'll be in the fire hall. They'll send a flyer out, so I'll pass.
For this sexual harassment.
No, this is more of like a general thing, specifically with NYMER. They are gonna do a sexual harassment and, like workplace discrimination. That's gonna be a little bit earlier, but he didn't have the info on that, so, once he sends it to me, I'll pass it to everybody.
Okay,
Okay.
great. Great, and everything else is running smooth, and everything's
Yep,
transitioned,
yep.
and so we're in good shape there. All right, zoning and planning.
We did interviews for the ZBA. They were great, it was good, but I'd like to make a motion to, bring Greg McCann back on the ZBA. He was out before, and when he got to be justice, he couldn't hold both positions, legally, I guess, and so, he, volunteered to come back on, and we interviewed also, and I'd like to make a motion that we bring him back on.
I'll second it. just, and like you talking, you were saying how, and we've had some phenomenal candidates.
It was
here.
good.
It's actually, I enjoyed
Yeah, it was- I mean, we were very fortunate to have that many people.
It's glad to know that everybody's getting involved. That's great. But just for the record, those interviews don't go unnoticed, and,
Yeah, I'm
Frank
fine.
and I are trying to figure out ways to incorporate them into the workings of the town, so they can actually, you know, flourish and learn a little bit more about what's going on in local politics. But yeah, and I thank everybody for coming in. I really do. Appreciate it. Anything else?
Well, you're seconded, but I need to.
Well-
The board passes it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Nay. Also, I'd like to say something if I can. I mean, just so everybody knows, I had no idea who was even interviewed or anything about it. I mean,
Mhm.
so kind of weird.
I don't.
You're welcome to come to any of the interviews if you would have liked to.
But we did speak.
Make them all, but.
Kevin,
I didn't even know Judge McCann even applied.
Kevin, we could speak about,
Not about Judge McCann.
we spoke about candidates.
No, there was a few people that sent in applications that I saw their names, but
Mhm.
that's all I saw.
I interviewed every one of them,
Okay,
except one, and it was, Rich DeCola. He came down with, COVID and couldn't make the interview. And I reached out to him for a couple of times and didn't respond. He's the only one that didn't get interviewed.
I mean, there wasn't even like an email that said, hey, we interviewed these people and we like this because of such and such. And this is the first time I've heard about it,
Mhm.
so
I mean, they,
it is what it
as
is.
I mentioned, it wasn't, I mean, I think it was just as Greg had stepped down, you know, when he took the judge position there, and so it's basically just, but it has, you know, there was a lot of qualified candidates, so it's, and maybe there'll be an opportunity for something else that, comes down the pipe.
They're 5-year appointments, so there'll be, every 5 years to be more, more chances at that time. And one rotates up every year.
Yeah, that's true. So next year you'll, yeah, go right ahead.
I guess just related to what Kevin said.
Yeah.
How do you choose? I mean, if this seat is open and the board is considering people for the ZBA. I guess the board isn't, I guess.
Yeah, that's not
two
true.
Members of
It's-
the
it was-
board.
We
It's a
put it
committee
in
form.
the paper.
No. What I'm saying is the whole board doesn't discuss it. That's what I'm understanding here. It's just two people on the board. Supervisor Wilson.
The planning
No,
authority,
actually, three, it was at least or four, but. You know,
actually, you were here for.
yeah, no, I was, not to all of them, but, that's what I was saying, it was.
There was 3 of us here, so we had a quorum.
Okay, 3 of
It's-
you
that's
were
not
at the
that-
interviews?
Mhm.
I mean, that's even worse.
No. It's not,
That makes it even worse.
One second, wait.
It just seems so
The planning and,
strange.
the planning and zoning committee was responsible for bringing on somebody for planning and zoning. Zoning committee handles the planning board and the ZBA. When we had our candidates and we interviewed everybody, we made a decision as a committee to pick Judge McCann. Well, Greg McCann at this point. Then we put it to the board 7 minutes ago, and we voted on it. They couldn't hate it. We had 3 votes, it became the majority rule. I'm not sure, it's,
I guess I'm not understanding.
What he's saying is, that we're actually voting right now, if it was on and voted in. I mean, there was plenty of candidates that were capable of
I
doing it.
understand there were a
Yeah.
lot of good candidates.
Yes,
You've said
yeah,
that a few times. I'm just trying to understand who on the board is involved and from what,
He's just saying, we're voting out right now for
I
the
interviewed
very
Judge
first
McCann.
time.
repeat what I think I heard you say is that there's a committee.
The planning and zoning committee
The
consists of
plan-
myself and Frank.
Correct.
So you
And
and
we,
Frank,
we put it in the paper.
I know you put it
Okay,
on.
so I'm going through this, I'm going through the process.
Thank you again.
Okay, we put it in the paper. We got a whole bunch of, resumes back, okay? We sat down, we went over them, and I'll say it again, we're all great. I like every one of them. Greg had the experience on the
I'm
ZBA.
not asking why you.
Oh, but
I'm
then what's the
asking-
question?
who, my question was, and I think you answered it, who on the board decides which of those candidates becomes the member of the zoning board of appeals?
We all are right
No,
now,
we
actually,
just
that's.
all did, and we denied it.
I think what she wants, you guys, the committee nominates somebody and the board votes on whether that
Correct.
nomination.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So
Now,
that's what you're
And,
saying.
and there, to be honest with you, I mean, as far back as I've been in, from 15 years ago, you have a little bit of controversy, and we've, been fortunate, we've had really good candidates, not just this year, I mean, in prior years, well,
Yeah.
this year more than ever, but,
So I'm not trying to attack
Yeah,
anyone, I'm
no, but
trying to
it's-
get clarification because Kevin said this is strange, like this, that he hadn't heard anything about it.
we spoke about this,
All I'm asking.
we spoke about this at the
I think what
board
she's saying is.
3 times, in 3 meetings.
No,
he's
it's
not on
about
the
being
planning
committee.
committee.
No, I know what you're saying.
Right.
Just- What she's
I'm on
saying
the
is.
town board, and
Yes.
so they should like let me know,
The
if
committee
they make a
brings it to the
decision,
board.
maybe a little bit ahead of time, or tell me about the candidates in some sort of report or something, and say, hey, these are the guys we interviewed. I mean, you know, we would like to recommend this guy. because-
Yeah, you're the person that she's saying that, when you try to lone ranger everything and go out and do grants without asking anybody's permission,
Kevin,
that's the
Kevin,
last person that should say
Kevin,
that.
prior to the interviews, every session of the planning and zoning committee discussion, we said, we're interviewing individuals. You had the opportunity to ask us who was running for the
I
nomination.
think outside of this specific instance, I think that the greater question is sort of like, if it comes to a vote and the vote is, do you like this thing that we say you should do? There's no information. How are we to know in every situation, this is just how this goes, are other decisions made in the same way? In terms of like a committee's suggestion and like, do we just buy into the committee thing? And I think that's what's kind of being asked about right now. Cause it seems as though if you're voting on something, you would hope that you have some sort of information other than, here's a guy, yeah, let's do the guy.
It's no different at the county level there. You have individual committees there as well. And if the committee votes on it and deems that it goes to a full board vote, then they do, but it's got to get out of committee first. But in this case, so we are all voting. They didn't make the final decision. Yes, they have a recommendation, but if it was a tied vote, we'd have to say, okay, we'd have to go back and look again and reappoint if we had a, you know.
Yeah, I think what I was saying is, it's not that that's a flawed system. I think that it's just, and it has nothing to do with this particular instance. I think you would hope that there's a little bit more information before the vote, if there are others that are voting on something beyond simply committee says do this thing.
Yeah, for example, I'm on the library board. And there are people who will research something and then make a proposal that we go with one vendor or another vendor. And they explain why they're choosing one vendor over another.
Mhm.
They don't just say, and I think we should choose B. And
Yeah,
then, well, let's vote. All in favor of B with no background information or anything? Great. It doesn't work that way. So that's the point I think Kevin was making, and I don't think it's a bad point to make, and I think it's just something to take into account.
Right.
Communication is a great thing.
agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, it's certainly we could go on forever on it, and it's, I mean, like I said, you know, fortunately, we were in a position that we had plenty of candidates to choose from, I guess, but it's, and as Frank said, there will be an opening next year, so, and hopefully, if any of the parties that are still interested, there, it still may work to that, you know, where they can study them.
Beyond
All
that.
right, that's fine, I get it, so I don't know how you do it any different, so that's fine.
Sorry, it's not
Okay.
specifically about this, it's a discussion about general practices. Yeah.
Okay.
And you
don't think I guess.
did say there was a lot of quality candidates and you chose one as a committee. You didn't agree with it. You said nay. That's how the system works.
That's it.
Move on.
I mean, but just because the system works this way and has worked this way, doesn't mean it could work better. And that like a little bit of transparency, and you're like, we can go on forever, you could go on forever about everything, but you could also go on a little bit, and that would be informative as opposed to not going on at all. I think that's what we're just asking for, is that
Yeah.
it's just so we can stay educated and abreast of the decision making that's going on the board, regardless of nothing to do with the ZBA, but decisions far and wide.
Yeah, it's challenging. I know it, because this was come up numerous times, or even, you know, with the finance committee, actually, where they wanted things to, you know, bypass and go direct vote. And I guess the county attorney put it best. Should they do this at the federal level, the state level, the county level? It's not like, you know, why should we try to buck the system?
Exactly.
I don't, it's the way it's always been, I guess, and whether you agree with it or not, it's kind of doing what everybody else has done for years, so I guess,
215 years.
yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Would it be possible to share with us why this candidate was chosen? Like what their background or experiences, or is that not?
And you're welcome to, I mean, if you want, I mean,
I just did.
yeah, pretty much, I mean,
I'm sorry. Greg McCann stepped down from the ZBA. He's already trained as a ZBA member when he became judge. When he walked away from the judge position and Judge Woolley took over that position, he went back on the ZBA. So
And therefore he's more qualified than.
he's actually he's a judge. He's the ZBA has judicial status. So he's a great candidate for ZBA. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, that was helpful.
You're welcome.
okay. Sorry, it wasn't, like everybody wanted there, but we'll move on here, I guess. East Sidney Lake,
No, it's back to planning and zoning, we're not done yet.
I'm sorry, go right ahead.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Have at it.
All right, I've been asked by our assessor to appoint Miss Jane Marinas to the Board of Assessment Review, and we put that in the paper also. We advertise for that position. What that is, they have a grievance day. And she will come in and sit on a grievance board and hear the complaints, and they could, you know, help the committee, that committee, make a decision on raising lower taxes or what have you, where they agree. They have a very hard time finding people, and I personally know Jane, and when she mentioned her name, I said she'd be great for it. So I'd like to make a motion, we bring her on the Board of Assessment Review. Personal knowledge, plus recommended by the assessor. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Kevin, I'm sorry, you were in the room in that one.
You just let me know, okay?
Yeah. Point taken.
Thank
Now,
you for your
yeah.
effort on that.
Yeah,
I said, thank you for your clarification on that
yeah,
motion.
Okay, so the comprehensive plan is in motion for Monday. Okay, I do have a little bit of news that I just took some good stuff out here. Where I talked about the bill, actual Army Corps of Engineers workers up there. And when they did an update here about 2 years ago, I always cut stuff out of the paper and keep it and read it, and have it, you know, I like things in print. You know, and anyways, they were promoting usage of their property, of the town property up there. And when I mentioned the walking trails, they're very interested in that. And I believe that there's a new committee at the county level dealing with park and recreation. I'm gonna kind of put those two together, and that's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool.
Nice.
Then again, we're meeting Monday night at 6. I think that's all I have. You got anything? Oh, all right.
I just like, I think I'll add it right now, so every year we, hire the county to be consultants, and we have, usually it's Shelley Johnson comes to the planning board meeting to kind of assist, because none of us are
Yeah.
experts in that field, and,
Yeah.
but we do a $3,500 contract, which covers that, their, services and so forth, and I would like to make a motion that we do that again this year as well.
I will definitely make that motion.
I'll
All
second
in
that.
favor?
Yeah, they've been very good. You like them, don't you, Kevin? Right.
They've been doing it for, I mean, I don't think I've ever heard anybody that didn't want them, so I mean, they're very, no.
There will be a ZBA meeting on March 30th at 6 p.m. ZBA meetings are public meetings. And what the ZBA does, they take the zoning rules, and if somebody has a problem, they want to do something that's not in the rules. The ZBA actually determines whether, you know, it makes sense, and the town board has no say in whatever. The ZBA is the judge and jury. They'll say, this guy is a good idea, let them, you know, go with it. So it's interesting, cause they are, you know, the final say, like I, ZBA is a pretty good group.
What was the date and time again?
The 30th at 6 p.m., March 30th, there's a ZBA meeting.
The notice is is in the paper, it gives you the details of the property. And the Grevens, Road, or however
Yeah.
you pronounce that.
Well, doesn't know. Didn't say anything.
GREVE.
Greens Road.
Greaves Road. Okay,
Greaves
sorry,
Road.
Greaves Road, okay. Greaves Road.
I think that's all I have for planning and zoning. Sure. For any questions? No, okay.
Great, it's in like, all you.
So we don't officially open till April 1st, but it's been busy there the last and a half. My tree guys have been in taking down all the dead ash trees. I think they're above 70 trees they've taken down so far that are completely dead. When they hit the ground, they explode. They cleared out around behind our playground that we put in. It's making it much safer for anyone that's on the tree line along that backside, along the 357 side of the campground. It is, it's like landmines just waiting to happen. We were standing there talking. They cut like 10 trees over here that morning. And they came over and were talking to me, and 3 fell over here by themselves. They hadn't even been over here.
Wow.
So they are just, they're completely dead. They're notching them so that one falls and takes down like 5 at a time. I mean, they are just that dead.
Are they, are you have problems with any other species, you know, like?
It's pretty much just the ash. I'm assuming the log trucks that have hauled down 357 for years, the ash borer has jumped off ship and navigated their way to our ash trees, but they've put a huge dent in it. There's one more I think they have to get, but the water level is so high in there right now, they can't get to that tree, so. The water is about 32 feet, or was, it's down 4 feet now, it's 32 feet above the normal pool in the summertime.
Wow.
So when you look into the campground, it's pretty much the whole beach area, like where the beach and that whole big field is. There's only a little bit of grass showing right now, it's above the lower parking lot. It's up and past where the concession stand used to be, so.
Wow.
It's pretty full. So once the water goes down, they'll get that last tree for me. Should be good to go on that. We have installed 12 of the new electric panels in the last week and a half. We've been digging with our little excavator. The frost has been good to us, so
The excavator's working well?
it's working awesome.
Good.
Are you doing the works?
I am,
You're doing the electric?
yes, yep. So we're
Fortunate to have them.
We're working on the chapel at the
Oh.
cemetery. I'm going to get an electrician.
That's a different type of electric than I'm doing, but I may know some people. So that's going really well. We're hoping to have those 12. I've got a guy there tonight till dark, hooking all the panels up. We've got to locate the existing water lines. There's no maps for the park at all of where anything runs. We found a couple by accident by digging to put the new electric and water in, but they're not the lines we're looking for, so. We're hopefully gonna find that here in the next few days. We have one little tooth for the excavator. We know in the vicinity of where some of the lines are, so we're gonna work slowly and carefully, and the water lines are about 3 inches below the grass, so. We're hoping we can just keep picking it up as we go and find out where the feed line is coming from the well house. So once it's all done, we're making a map so that we know where stuff is, and whoever fills in for me when I'm long gone, they'll know where stuff is and not like I'm trying to do, so. We're progressing with that. I'm hoping by mid-April to have all of that new electric and water lines hooked up and ready for the campers on May 1st. I don't see any issues at this point. I'm working with Department of Health to get the pressure tanks in our pump house replaced. We have one that's got a rust hole in it, and it's the newer of the 3. So I'm gonna replace all 3 at the same time. I don't want one going on 4th of July.
They don't last long anymore, I swear.
The newest one has a date on it of 2015, so we're in borrowed time with all 3, so I should have those ready for purchase this week. What else is there?
He had a suggestion, I think, behind you there in reference to using a pressure washer.
2 things, but yeah, as far as finding lines, you just run a grid with a pressure washer, it's pretty easy and you don't want to look at it. But are you guys doing anything prophylactically for the ash that are there and that are not dead, the standing live ones that are below certain?
So far, we've not found one live ash tree.
Because there's, so in Franklin, which not a lot of people know, but there's actually a ash reserve that's a research institute sort of about how to preserve ash trees. And it's literally just on Barnet or some hollow, I don't know. But
That's how.
Bennett Hollow, yeah, and it's a bunch of people who are just trying to mess around and they have all the different inoculants and they've experimented with a bunch of different things for the last number of years.
You wanna give me their contact?
I'll put you in touch with them, but there was a lot of interesting look at like once it gets to a certain diameter, basically the beetle can get around inside the bark and that's what girdles the tree. But actually when it's below that diameter, there's a lot of research on it. Actually, if you pollard it or like coppice it, it'll come back and you can still keep the tree alive by keeping the diameter of the branches low.
Okay. We're only cutting down ones, but
Yeah.
I would be happy to save whatever because
Yeah.
we're gonna end up with a field.
Yeah, and that's what 30% action period, so.
It's still safe. That'd be awesome.
I've got a pretty decent metal detector too, if you wanna try to trace any that way for a line.
It's all plastic.
Oh, is it? Okay.
We thought of that. We're like, maybe we can get lucky and find a hose clamp. We have not yet, so we're gonna just do it the old fashioned way and rip it up till we find it and fix it from there, but. So that's coming to fruition, happening right now. Obviously, we don't open for campers till May, but. We don't have a huge window, so we're trying to navigate the weather lately. We've had some nice days, we dumped on it. I'm gonna work on getting prices on new docks. Our docks last year, suffered pretty heavily with the boat traffic and they're getting. Frank thought they were pretty new, but they were bought before I was there. So
Didn't we have to repair one that got
repaired two of
blown
them
away or
last year.
something?
just, I put them, they roll into the lake, into the shoreline. And then as the water level comes up, it fills the wheel. They're called roll docks. So you just literally roll them in. Once the water level comes up, it fills the wheels, weights them down. There's legs that go into the silt, sand, whatever you wanna call it on the bottom. I had them all installed as they were starting to fill the lake. One of the nights, just after I got them installed, we had a huge windstorm. It was one of them nights in the spring last year where we got like, I don't know, 60 or something mile an hour straight line winds. And it took those two docks and it rolled them upside down into each other and twisted them. A local friend of mine came in, helped me. We welded aluminum in the parking lot. We put them all back together, got them squared up so that we could get through the season last year because they weren't available at the time. You know, they were already sold out pretty much for the springtime. The new stock hadn't come in yet. So I'm gonna work on getting potentially one, if not both of those, depending on, I have no idea what the price is on them yet. They're pretty expensive.
Aluminum, you said?
They're aluminum, yeah. So I'm gonna work on getting those to try to replace one of them before the water comes up. Well, once the water goes down before it comes back up this spring. And other than that, it's just, you know, we got some cleanup to do in there and stuff, but it's very busy up there right now for off season, so. But that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Do you still want the unified sevens?
Yes, we need to purchase, we had, I did just, Tyler and I researched the UMFI 7, whatever. Those are now grounded or groundable,
Yeah.
where the ones we had previously were not. So I do need to purchase those as well, access points. We'll have to figure out their cost and.
Cause they're actually unified out of stock. I could try to source it from somewhere else, but
We've had really good luck since we
Wired
hardwired,
today.
once we hardwired
We
those.
installed two today. Unified tenders, no, they're the
no, this is the unified outdoor,
outdoor, they're killing those.
The problem is, yeah, I don't know what number those were. Threes? What are those?
They were sixes.
They're sixes?
Yeah.
So they're not grounded. They're on a telephone pole, 30 foot in the air. So we've had some lightning storms and stuff, and I think it's hit those. And they're not groundable. So
These are,
the new sevens that they came out with, I'm assuming Ubiquity figured out that these are not grounded and there's issues with them, so their new ones are grounded, so. We're gonna replace, I think we've got 3 right now that are burned up, and there's 2 other ones that I think the 7 would be a better fit for that area, cause they cover a wider. Balloon over top of the campsite, so.
I'll send the link to Julie.
Okay,
I gotta just mention now, thank you, John. The amount of work John was doing down at the dam was incredible, because he has such a small window. The snow melted last week, and the camp opens next month. So he has like this small window to get everything done. The amount of work he's doing in such a short time is commendable. And I thank you for that. Thank you.
Good job as always.
Tiring. That's all I got for now.
All right, thank you.
Got it.
Great, glad the backhoe's working out, right? That works interesting. All right, finance.
Going on to P-bills.
We just have one coming up here into the month here, so we'll have to make a decision on rolling it again. I think, and I think the short-term rates are virtually where they were before, so it's,
What's in there? 3.
what's that? Yeah, we just did it 3 months. So a little over 3.5, I think, so. That's about it. IT.
I got a couple of things. The last, elevator pack for the, hospital, for the phones.
Mhm.
I was sitting in the town council office. I also set up, Nate's, little box so he can watch his videos on the big screen in his office. I sit in the office there too. I gotta get to that sometime tomorrow, Saturday. I haven't heard anything from the DMV regarding the facts, so I think it's fixed, because I don't need them.
Oh.
I put the UPS in.
But that was a Spectrum problem, right? Isn't that what the,
It's a VoIP in general, you know, because going from analog to digital, you get a little hiccup, it just stops the facts. And it's not just here, it's everywhere. I hear it all day long, all over the field, but I think it's fine. I haven't heard Becky in like 2 weeks, so I think we're fine. I'll check on it next week. Or tomorrow.
okay. Kevin,
Yeah, so I met with, Charles Bailey and Scott LeMountain from, Home Community Renewal from New York State about the grant. And, yeah, I mean, I was pretty upset about what happened. And when they do like a breakdown of like, they don't really tell you their scoring system, but they do a breakdown of like what got flagged in the application. And, you know, there was a lot of things that were easily clarifiable and things that like they really should have known anyway, like there's things in their own department, but
that's too bad. I thought that one was a given.
yeah, and I mean, like, you know, so as they're going through the list, I'm thinking, Dilla just got one, Bainbridge just got one. And there's no way that they would have, I don't think that they would have done any better under the same scrutiny, So it was kind of weird, And I had another meeting with Charles Bailey afterwards. And we were talking about it, and he said that, it looks like for some reason we just got lucky that they're like really tightening up on certain things this round. It was very competitive, and it has been in the past, but there was a lot of things that could have just been easily answered questions. However, and I did ask that to Scott when we were talking to him, and he said basically their rule is, they get what they get. And then they just look at it as is and they don't ask you anything about it afterwards, which is kind of weird because they did actually ask us something like late November. We got a question from them about our publications that we did. And they did ask for clarification on the publications that we did, which we sent them. And then we didn't hear after that. So I don't know. That's what they said. But it was a good contact. Anyway, because they do have some other opportunities, like I know Cody needs a salt shed. They were here, actually, I just mentioned that to Dawn earlier today, because they said they were gonna come about the cemetery. There's a funding opportunity for other general infrastructure things that they have. So I don't know, we'll see if we can get that, but,
That's too bad. I'm sorry. That's.
yeah, so I mean, there's no reason why we can't just apply again this year. And now we know we have the contact with the guy, and he said basically, up until you press the send button on the application, you can go over everything with us. So I'm just gonna be on it, I was thinking at first, like, maybe I should have been more on top of it, but then we went through the questions and was like, I would have never thought that they would have got this, flagged this for something wrong, I'm not gonna get into the details, it's just silly things, and, so anyway, we can do it again this year and hopefully we'll have a much more bulletproof case and get it, so.
Good.
That's that.
Well, appreciate the efforts for trying anyway.
Yeah.
Get it. All right. Okay, what else we have there? Dog control, I guess.
The control, yeah, she was a little bit busy this past month, but, everything was pretty much came and went, nothing too crazy, so,
You didn't get bit.
yeah. She did it. Thank God for that.
And your audit, that went well?
Yeah, so, I met with, Judge Ruling, we went through that, and, basically, it's Greg's books for the most part, so, she just went through it and, that's it, things are looking pretty good, obviously, with the new program.
Keep a copy.
Yep, yep,
Okay.
and then, so that's what I want to ask you about too,
You can file it if you need to file it, you file it right in
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
um,
We're supposed to, but they asked us, the state asked us to make sure you mention it at the board meeting, because they want, to know that it's been done.
yes,
So I don't know whether she sent it to the state or we sent it to the state, I forget.
right, I'll check with her, but, it went through, passed, everything was pretty
Yeah.
good, so. Nothing that
Yeah.
looks weird at all. Anyway, it's Greg's books. She just started, so it was like January, February for her stuff, and then that was it.
We just got it at our recent county meeting yesterday. The stats for the traffic diversion program, which is an online, so if you get pulled over, you can opt to take an online class and pay a pretty hefty fine, but excuse me, but the majority of the proceeds actually go back to the town.
Yeah.
Versus going directly to the controller's office. So it was, I think for Sidney this year, I think it was 58,000 for our first year, which actually makes that whole department.
Yeah, it made a huge difference.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Does it
good.
go to general fund or go to the court? Where does the money go?
It goes to the
General.
court. Yeah, so it's great. I mean, the village is only, I think they were under 10,000, so.
It's way below.
Does she know about her grants?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so actually, so something that she said was, so they had asked to apply for that JCAP grant last year. And they did, but they only asked for a couple things that she said she didn't really need, so she said she was gonna try to ask if she can change that. Cause they were approved for whatever they asked for, and she was gonna see if she could get something else for the money that they got approved for. So I'll let you know if I hear anything about that, but, they'll apply again this year, so.
Andrew, I think your phone light flashlight. Yeah. Thank you. That was, all right, do you want to do new business or would you like to?
Oh.
Yeah, well, go ahead. Would you like to, you're welcome to,
Do you want me to stand up or not?
sure, whatever you're comfortable with, that. I think it's fine.
Okay, I wanna, you can look at it and pass it down. Good evening.
I just want to verify something.
Yes.
I didn't know you were coming until after my agenda was posted because it was
Okay.
already in. Just let you know.
So I'm Dawn Williams. This is Becky Hood. She's the treasurer at Prospect Hill Cemetery. I'm the president. This is Becky Lighty. She's our secretary. So, let me put on my glasses. Some of the board members are here with me. First, we would like to thank you all for your support for last year. We got over 200 feet of our sidewalk replaced, moved, and raised. And it has been greatly appreciated by the community. That section is beautifully cleaned off when they take care of it. The rest of it still needs some work. So, we have come this evening to see if you would be willing to continue helping us to replace some of that sidewalk that runs along East Main Street, move it away from the road, closer to the fence. So that, the plow doesn't plow in quite so much and we can maintain it easier. It's not just people that live over there, it's people that enjoy walking, in the community that go through there. You all know Jamie Roberts. He walks through there usually almost every day. So, also in May, we are partnering with the Rotary Club of Sidney, Rotary Interact Club, and the Sidney Historical Association to paint the wrought iron fence that runs along the sidewalk on East Main Street. We've had a lot of support from everyone.
We are continuing our preservation of the 1893 chapel also this year. The roof is done, the windows are done, the Lexan is covering the stained glass windows so that people can't break them. And you can barely see the Lexan, they did such a great job. So now Jeff Bagley advised the board that we could actually rent that out. So, we need to work on the inside to get it safe, for people to be in there. So I've been trying to get an electrician that I actually know who's worked at my house, and he tells me, I have, a bid for you, but it's at home on my computer. And I haven't heard. This has been a couple of months now. So I'm looking for an electrician too, if anybody knows anybody, and a plaster and lath guy, because the inside of that is plaster and lath, and some of it is falling down and stuff. So, but all we have inside left to do is not really that much. The floor. We have to remove the floor. We're getting that tested to make sure it's not asbestos. We had an expert come in and he said asbestos was not used inside of homes or buildings until the 1930s and 40s. And I Googled it and he was right. And so, he said, to tell you the truth, I don't think there's asbestos in here.
Good.
But we figured we better test it just because we're gonna be dumping it, and we wanna make sure that we do it correctly. But I have a great board. We have 13 or 14 members now, total.
Great.
Yeah, a lot of, good people from the community. And we all have people pretty much in the cemetery that are there. So that's why, that we've been working so hard, but we really, would like to redo, we have maybe 400 feet. At least 400 to 500 feet of fence or sidewalk that we'd like to do and move to the fence as much as we can, just to prevent the snowplow from.
And elevate it too. The one section is very low and it needs to come up
How many feet have you done already?
230.
230.
Do
That
you,
was
do you have
what,
any rough estimates on what you're?
we got ahold of Jason Fleming.
Well, he hasn't gotten back to us yet. He did the work last year.
Okay,
Yeah.
It's very good, very reasonable.
And it was less than 15,000. And, it ended up being a little bit less, right?
No, it was actually $16,675
Oh, was it?
a total bill for that amount of
For 230,
replacement.
yeah.
yeah,
So we've
concrete's
got
certainly
two
not cheap,
sections you
that's
have
for
to
sure.
do on that sidewalk. So we're trying to do section and section.
Yeah.
So we'd like your help doing the next section if possible.
Okay, well, we can certainly figure out
If
where
you
we.
consider it.
We will certainly do that, because we know, I said, yeah, no, we will, and then, we can, either make an, announcement at the next meeting if that would work, and be great, but we'd be happy to help, we appreciate all you do, because I know it's challenging to getting, volunteers and what have you.
She doesn't wanna do it, cause if we disband, it goes to you guys.
Yeah.
And, yeah, Eric's like.
Well, no, I know, it's, I'm thankful you guys are able to
Years to
get that
actually
many people interested.
It took me a couple of years, John.
It's back in progress. It's something you don't learn overnight. It's very enlightening. Actually, there's a lot to learn and it's amazing what, you have a division of cemeteries and you have rules you have to follow and
all the documenting for every burial.
each position has a lot to it, and no one wants to be treasurer.
No,
Yeah, I'm sure it's hard to get that, I know my dad was on it years ago, but.
yeah, exactly.
Can I keep this on our bulletin board, please?
Please,
Thank
yes, we're looking for volunteers
To help, that's all.
to help paint that fence. And, we have, Butts Concrete is gonna donate a porta john for us for the day. And we're gonna have pizza.
Rotary
Supply.
supply pizza.
Yep, and we're gonna set up tables on the newer side so people can park and then walk across. And, Mike Wood was gonna go speak with the,
Moose.
yeah, the Moose to park there also. And he's hoping to get some of the Boy Scouts to come
Great.
and, have a big just community thing.
That's nice.
that
Didn't
we-
get community service by helping.
Do you know what you need as far as electrician? Is it rewiring or lighting or all of the above?
And right now, I don't know who did this. There's 2 bathrooms in the back. And there's like a men's and a female's, just a stall. And then you come out and use the sink. Well, right next to the men's toilet is the breaker box. Yeah, that's not gonna work. We're not gonna probably use the bathroom right at this point because we don't know what the plumbing entails. But Jeff Bagley told us that the cemetery could actually make some money. That Fluxus Concrete charges $5.50 just to rent a tent on a Saturday.
Interesting.
So if, yeah,
I've got someone, I'll reach out to. see
We
if I can
probably
get an
need
electrician.
a new updating panel and everything.
yeah, there's a fuse box upstairs in the attic. There's a fuse box, so that has to come out. All the lighting is in place, all the original light fixtures are there.
Pretty.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
They're all there. And so it really won't take that much to get it functional. And, the state, I contacted them because it's in the historic district. So we are trying to get it, designated with a plaque also. But they did say that we could put a handrail coming down the steps for safety. And it wouldn't take away from the historical part. But in order to rent it, you know, I contacted them and said I'm not comfortable renting it without a handrail there. But obviously we put in like an old handrail. But we're hoping by next year to be able to rent it and generate income for the cemetery.
That'd be great. If I can get your number, I'll have them reach out to you and,
It's 434-0535.
okay, perfect.
And yeah, we're looking for plaster and lath guy, floor. That's why I talked to Kevin, because I didn't know if some of the guys that work for Premier would like to work on the floor. It's very thick. It's like this,
It's like a particle board.
covered concrete almost. It's like a white thick material. It's gonna be heavy.
Yeah.
And so,
And it's hardwood underneath, so hopefully it's all in good condition.
it's like a original like wide planks
Yeah.
underneath. And we just thought about staining that, cleaning it and staining it. And
How big a building is it, you know, offhand or?
probably this size,
Small.
just right here. Yeah, it's just small. And it has like a sliding door that bifolds into the wall. And you can separate the office from the service area. And then it also has where there's a casket holding area in the basement, like a vault area. And you put the casket on this pulley system and you pull the casket up and the doors, the hardwood doors upstairs open. So the casket comes up,
That's wonderful.
you know, and that chapel, most of the people on the board grew up here. And they don't ever remember the plywood being off those windows,
When was it actually built?
1893.
Wow.
And it is in immaculate shape, really.
Really?
The foundation is great, except for when we can keep people from stealing our downspouts. But, you know,
Was it copper or something or?
the first one, the front one was, and they even tried to cut the, down, or the gutter part. They stole the downspouts, but they tried to cut the gutter part in the back. I mean, and they are the top, but we just put temporary ones on for now. But I'm like, we can't put copper ones on. I mean, the color of this, it'd be like screaming, steal
Disappear
me.
overnight.
You know, so, yeah, so we can't. We've also looked into getting like security system, you know, or cameras. But Spectrum wants so much for the internet and we'd have to do 2 sides. Cause we have the old side and the new side. We have a lot of stuff. A lot.
Got an idea. We can just do like one of those game ones there that where you don't have to have it time all the time, I guess. Or I mean, it would take pictures, but it's not necessarily transmitting all the time.
Gary Gifford just called me yesterday from Bainbridge Memorial. He was in Bainbridge Cemetery. They stole the military placards. 6 of them are gone, off the back of the headstones. He said you can see where they took screwdrivers. So Vicky and her husband, who's a veteran, walked down to make sure to check our cemetery.
And nothing was touched on it.
We had that happen the year, wasn't it? A
Yeah.
couple of years ago, we had the.
The flag holders,
Yeah.
That's what it was.
These are the
That's right.
flags. These are the big flags.
The bronze
Wow.
flags.
I think the guy that makes those actually is on the board, he's from Bainbridge originally, but, I know he does all those historic signs, the same guy.
Yeah, so, cause Gary called me to alert me to keep an eye and let me know what's going on.
It's a shame.
He's on the board there and stuff.
Sorry about that, in the future, like if you wanted to inventory that and actually have a visual like an archive of it, it would not be difficult to recreate those things. If you have a record preceding the theft as opposed to after it's stolen. And so it wouldn't be a bad idea to someone went around and actually took orthographic photos.
Good idea.
That way.
Yeah.
Well, I told him to get a hold of Michael Angelotti, who has an office here in the building. And I said, cause he doesn't know how they're gonna replace them, cause they're like $1,100 a piece.
Wow.
And I said, well, the scrapyard is not allowed to take those, that's against the law. And I said, they can actually get in trouble for receiving stolen property. So, yeah, but you don't know what goes on at the cemetery, you know, like.
You don't want to.
No, you don't, it's like, oh, you know, but my dad's been buried there since I was 19. So that's why I do it. You know,
That's great.
because I want it to look nice and I know that your dad's there and I just wanna make sure that it stays looking nice.
Mhm.
Cause it's a lot of work if it goes to the town.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It
No,
shows like-
I appreciate you guys doing it, and I'm thankful we have people that are
Yeah,
active and
yeah.
involved. It's,
And, you know, I don't mind doing it. I really don't. I mean, my husband has his own business, so I can stay home. And so this allows me to volunteer. You know, and Jeff and Rosemary have been great helping me to learn. If I have a question, I call them. They have a question, they can call me. I'm learning.
yeah, no, it's.
But it's, you know, it's kind of like you guys when you start out, you really don't know what you're doing and then, but now I feel a lot more confident doing it. You know, so.
Good. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for
Very
listening.
good. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
So let's see, we will go back to new business.
Okay, so I emailed that out, this resolution from, the town of Cincinnati. Julie had shown this to me and also it's been around online, it's been circling around. So, I reached out to Ron Constantino, his supervisor over there, and they sent it over. And, he said there's over 200 municipalities that have signed on. I know some of our, like, Joe Angelino, our assemblyman for this district, he put out something about this. A lot of other assembly people have been putting something out. Joe Angelino was recommending that they do, like an energy emergency kind of a thing where they can pause the taxes for a lot of for the services. But anyway, this is a resolution that, is basically the town, you know, demanding some accountability from NYSEG for basically the price gouging that everyone's feeling.
Yeah, I just, you know, it's interesting. I, from what I understand, I mean, it's not all NYSEG. I mean, I actually went to dinner with one of the reps for NYSEG and unfortunately, they're taking the brunt of it, but I guess the state original Public Service Commission originally said, okay, you need to hire more, linemen and you need to get the trees trimmed, et cetera, and in doing that, I guess that's where a lot of this is kind of worked into that, but a lot of the stuff it's all, believe me,
It's actually.
I'm with you, I mean, I don't disagree, but I don't think it's 100% them.
I spoke to, the Public Service Commission, because I'm actually dealing with my seg right now, because they kind of screwed me last year.
Right,
You know. And it turns out that, the governor sets the delivery charge with the Public Service Commission. And the reason why it's so high is this is a big green plan that you have in play. So they're trying to build this pool of money to do something that's probably not gonna happen.
Right.
You know, that's why we have such a high electric bill. You know, and the funny part is that's supposed to go in arbitration in September, last September, and I called them, and it's like, oh, we're backlogged, you know, a lot of complaints, and that's great, because when I go through this winter, you'll see how nice that screwed me last year.
Yeah.
You know, but it is the Public Service Commission, it's actually, they're no angel inside there, just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanna make a motion, I'd certainly do it, I mean,
I would
you know, unfortunately,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure whether anything will happen, but I mean, certainly.
I mean,
No harm in trying, that's for sure.
I mean, you know, if there's language we should add, or maybe do another one later where it's also to the governor or something like that, I mean, I'll talk to this guy too, maybe they'd come up with some other things and You know, I think especially collectively, you know, if you have a bunch of municipalities getting together, assembly people, and just, then you can bring something to the governor's office and be like, hey, this is not gonna work out. So, I mean, I'm up for that too.
And all the new infrastructure that's going in, we essentially are paying for that. They're not paying it out of their pocket. We're
Right,
charging everybody more so they can pay for it.
right. Well,
So do they have something already like drafted?
so I sent
I
this
mean,
out.
it isn't gonna hurt, I mean, we can certainly,
Certainly
we're all
want to follow
supportive
this
of
resolution.
it.
Yeah, I can read it if you want.
Yeah.
Great, okay. So,
Got it there.
I'll just change what it says, town of Cincinnati. to town of
Oh, I
Cincinnati.
thought, I didn't send, I redid it, but I didn't send it out because you
Okay.
sent it to everybody else.
Okay, yeah, so, you know, basically, Sheila went through and just changed it to town of Sydney, but I'll read through it. A resolution strongly urging immediate review of electric delivery charges, demanding improved cost controls and transparency, and authorizing formal complaints to the New York State Public Service Commission regarding the escalating cost of electricity. Whereas residents, seniors, and small businesses in the town of Sidney are experiencing unsustainable, repeated, and compounding increases in electric bills that are placing a growing financial strain on households and the local economy. And whereas a substantial portion of these increases is attributable not to increased energy consumption, but to escalating delivery charges, fees, and approved rate adjustments imposed by NYSEG. And whereas electric delivery charges and rate structures are regulated and approved by the New York State Public Service Commission, which is statutorily charged with ensuring that utility rates are just, reasonable, and affordable for ratepayers. Whereas the town board has received numerous complaints from residents who are struggling to afford basic electric service and who have expressed serious concern regarding the frequency, magnitude, and lack of transparency surrounding recent and ongoing rate increases. And whereas rural and low-density communities, such as the town of Sidney, are disproportionately impacted by delivery charge increases and cost recovery mechanisms that fail to adequately account for affordability, equity, and the cumulative burden placed on ratepayers. And whereas the town board finds that continued approval of rate increases without stronger cost controls, greater transparency, and meaningful affordability protections is unacceptable and contrary to public interest. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Sidney formally and strongly urges the New York State Public Service Commission to conduct a thorough and immediate review of electric delivery charges, rate increases, and cost recovery practices applicable to NYSEG customers. And be it further resolved that the town board calls upon the Public Service Commission to prioritize ratepayer affordability, demand greater transparency from NYSEG, and require demonstrable cost containment and operational efficiency measures before approving any future rate increases. And be it further resolved that the town board expressly opposes continued or automatic rate increases that shift rising operational, infrastructural, and administrative costs onto ratepayers without clear justification or adequate protection for rural communities. And be it further resolved that the town supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to submit formal complaints, written complaints, and supporting documentation to the New York State Public Service Commission on behalf of the town and its residents, objecting to excessive electric costs and requesting regulatory intervention. And be it further resolved that the town clerk is directed to transmit copies of this resolution to the New York State Public Service Commission, NYSEG, the governor of the state of New York, members of New York State Legislature, and neighboring municipalities served by NYSEG, and to encourage coordinated action among affected towns. And be it further resolved that this resolution take effect on whatever date and then signed by us or approved by us.
3-0.
So you wanna make a motion
I'll
that,
make a motion to.
I'll second it?
I didn't hear anything that I disagreed with.
Okay, so this has got to be a certain way, so I have to have, because I have the form that I have to fill out and sign, this is what's gotta go. So I'm gonna write it on this sheet, and I need to have everybody, so Kevin moved it. Eric, you seconded it. No, Eric did. And then Andy, you said you're,
Yeah,
yay,
there's nothing there I disagree with, so.
okay.
Yeah.
Frank?
Yeah.
Okay. We're done, thank you.
And again, I'm not being, devil's advocate here, but I've been dealing with the Public Service Commission for a while. They just, anything that happens to the public service is state level.
Yeah.
And again, they're trying to build this infrastructure.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, if we can.
It's like a catch
speak out about it.
everybody else is.
Well, that's why I think.
Yeah,
just like being a thorn in the
A lot of
side, you
the
gotta-
Public comment period was way back when, and they really didn't get much
Well,
activity there, I guess, so.
yeah, for everyone's information, there's a state, I don't know, office now called ORES. I forget what the acronym is for, but they were basically mandated with, offering, very quick, what do you call it? When, the planning board was to do something, like permits, quick permitting for, like solar projects and stuff like that. And they are going into like DEC regulated wetlands and things that are, not supposed to be untouchable lands, and they're just like quick approving them with no transparency. All kinds of stuff.
State lands, I could read that.
Yeah. And it's
I did
becoming,
read
it's a big issue.
Protect your wetland stuff.
Yeah.
I did
Look,
read
I
that.
have solar panels and I'm just not happy with them. From September until now, they do nothing.
Hmm.
And then I'll come with snow on top of it. My electric bill goes for like $70, the children's 20. And if you take the solar panels out in the summer, it will be, because my whole house is electric.
Yeah.
But having solar power up here is not gonna generate enough electricity.
Well, either way, they should be providing some transparency for doing all this kind of stuff. And they were specifically designed to not do that, so.
And even if they're not gonna do anything, it still merits
Trying to
to
build
put it down in the
it.
record.
Sure, yeah, we're against it, so.
Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
I agree, I'll agree with there, but just unfortunately, I hope they can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, they were talking about it yesterday, some lady that, just got an $800 electric bill and her social security is $800 a month and
Yeah, I mean,
widowed and, I mean.
That's a low bill, so people have
Yeah.
huge bills.
God, I had like $1,200 bills before I went to work.
Somebody got a $3,000 bill.
Yeah, my girlfriend got a $7,000 bill. So.
Yeah, I know somebody got $3,000.
Ours doubled this last
I
month.
can't imagine.
Everybody's running their electric heaters and, ouch,
Too bad no smart meters.
yeah.
Smart me to think, check the
I
power.
just,
Thousands.
I need that.
tell you.
I have one.
I
You don't have one?
Yeah, I can get you a copy of it and get you.
I'll pay that rate.
So,
Uh,
unfinished business, I don't think we have any.
I think we have some comments to the floor from these guys.
Okay,
Well, we're that, okay. There we are.
comments from the floor.
Yeah, hang on. That's to unmute.
I have a comment.
Okay,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
got one on the floor.
Oh. Is
Or,
someone-
oh, you can go ahead, well, yeah.
No, it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Sheila, I apologize. I should have sent this to you ahead of time, so I'm just commenting from the floor. And it's a letter I'll give to you. Dear board members, the second annual Sidney Brew to Brew 5K run/walk has been approved by the Delaware County Department of Public Works to take place along County Route 23 on September 19th, 2026. As in 2025, the race will begin at the Wakeman Coffee Company at 11 a.m. and conclude at Muddy River Farm Brewery. And I've attached a map. Last year's race was an incredible success. More than 200 people signed up. Despite pouring rain, 180 people participated, many from outside of Sydney, even from out of state. We raised $5,000, which was donated to the Delaware Valley Humane Society and the Uplift Collective, which was formerly the City Center Improvement Group. The week before this year's race, the Department of Public Works will provide an electronic sign if available to inform residents of the event. On race day, support from the village and state police will be invaluable as well. Last year, Highway Superintendent Cody Lambrecht generously offered the use of traffic cones and a line painting gun, which were a huge help. We hope he will agree to loan them again this September. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. And my contact information is here, and we hope to see you on race day.
And people said it was a lot of fun. I talked to several people that were in,
Yeah.
even in the rain, so.
Even in the rain, they remember
Kid right in at half of the snowstorm.
the 19th of September.
Okay, was.
Kathy, do you have anything to say? if you want, you need to unmute yourself.
Yes, I was thinking about something that was mentioned last month about, investigating a site for a communication tower to improve the cell phone, service between Walton and Sydney Center. And I believe that, there was, a suggestion to use the school property. And that was worrisome to me because it's in the middle of people's homes. I don't know how large a cell tower would be proposed, but I certainly think that, the people who own land and who live right there, should be consulted, and maybe a higher elevation should be considered in a more remote spot than right in the middle of Sydney Center. That was my comment.
You had that, didn't you have that, issue several years ago with, MKL net, didn't you, Kathy? I vaguely remember, because they were gonna put in a transfer school, this is years ago, I think, and, yeah, so I just, I have not, Frank, have you heard anything else on
Yeah, I'll
that?
be honest with you. Technically, a cell tower should not be in the middle of the community because it just goes with all this, people getting ticks from cell towers.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm a technology consultant, I live on my cell phone every day, and I'm glad there's not a cell tower next to my house.
It's kind of
But she's valid, she's at a valid point.
completely valid, and it's a catch-20 because we put it on a hill, it's just gonna bounce over and not even touch the village, so it's like, what are you gonna do?
As far as I know, there hasn't been any, further contact with any of the landowners. There was 7 of them, I think, that got letters requesting for them to come in and do an check for signal and stuff. But, they've been talking to me, and there hasn't been any further correspondence from Verizon or T-Mobile or any of them, so it's like, right now, it's kind of stalemated or dead in the water, so.
I thought they were putting it on your land, too.
Yeah, yeah.
Great,
Thanks, Kathy.
yes, thank you. Any other comments? Yes, sir.
What I mentioned on February 18th, being on the floodplain management, floodplain management administrator. I met with a member of DEC who audited our program. Looked through our paperwork, our local law, et cetera, and everything was fine.
Great. Perfect, thank you.
Anyone else?
No, I don't think we do. Do we need one? Oh, yeah, no, we were going to, but
Yeah.
we.
I missed the boat on that.
Any other comments or feedback? Great. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
Wow, let's write that down.
Aye.